And welcome to Classic City Blue.
I love what I do.
Chief was very much involved into the neighborhood.
Finding your own way of policing and having confidence in it.
Handle the basics.
How do people treat you different?
Answer your calls.
You have a bigger impact than you think you do.
What kind of effect would it have on you, your family, or better yet, the agency?
And welcome to Classic City Blue, a podcast that takes you behind the scenes of Athens-Clarke County Police Department. I'm your host, Lieutenant Enrique Rivera. Today's special guest is Sergeant Amanda Blair and Officer Justine Hayes. How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, glad to have y'all today. First, this is basically to get a down-to-earth information of what we do, right? You're assigned to the
Recruiting unit.
and you are assigned to?
West Night's Bravo Squad.
Okay. Now, we're going to get into that, right? Because the community wants to know. But before we get into that, give me a little bit of where you're from, you know, what kind of hobbies do you like to do, anything you think is pertinent that we should know.
You want me to start? Okay. Well, I'm Justine Hayes. I grew up in South Florida near, Broward County. I came up here because I played lacrosse at Emmanuel College, now university. I played there for 4 years, and then after my 4 years, I was like, I guess I'll stay. I came here, applied here, everything went well. Let's see. I went to the academy, failed the academy, firearms, because I never shot anything before coming here, and then I went through the second time, dominated it, did really good, and now I'm here. I love what I do. Let's see, what else do I do? I work out. I'm married. My husband...
Newly married?
Yes.
We'll say, yeah, newly married.
What is it, 9 months? Yeah,
9
months. My husband works for UGA Police Department. Let's see, I like cookie dough ice cream. And I really love what I do. West Night's Bravo Squad is probably the best squad.
Awesome.
Biased, but yeah.
Something that we share, she is from Broward County and I'm from Dade County, which are neighbors. So we share a lot of likes and foods. Oxtail, favorite. So it's delicious. I haven't had some. You promised me your mom was going to make me some.
Well, yeah, she came for like 3 days, so I couldn't force her to make food, you know? It was Mother's Day weekend, so I had to...
I mean, you could have asked.
Well, she gets a pass. She gets a pass.
Next time I got you.
Yes. Sarge, so give us something about yourself.
My name is Sergeant Amanda Blair. I've worked here for 14 years. I started here actually as an intern. I went to school at North Georgia College and State University, and part of that program you had to do an internship. So I started out here. I got to know the employees that were here. It felt welcoming, and I needed a job. So I decided to apply, and I've been here ever since. I really enjoy it. I worked patrol midnights east when I was a new officer for about 5 years, and then got transferred to forensics as a detective, and I was there for 6 years. And then about 2.5 years ago, I got promoted to sergeant, where I went back to patrol on day shift east. And then about 6 months ago, I got transferred to the recruiting unit. So I'm in charge of doing backgrounds on officers and dispatchers and coordinating our cadet program.
Now, let me go back to the intern. You were a UGA student. Was that part of your degree?
I was a North Georgia student, but yes, it was part of my degree.
And what's your degree on again?
Criminal justice.
Okay. Now, you said you were part of the recruiting bureau, right? Mm-hmm. Which in my belief is the beginning of your process, right? You go out, you find better people or good people to apply here, mm-hmm. right? So what does your day look like when you go out and look for those people?
It varies day to day. So I also help to work backgrounds. Mm-hmm. So it might be calling some references and sending out some open records requests, or going to a career day at a middle school. I always am answering a phone or emails, questions about what does the process look like, what are the requirements for the job, what's the call volume like, what are the benefits, you name it, I've been asked, and sometimes I have to find those answers.
Now, if somebody wanted to contact you, is there like a phone number they can get a hold of you through the website, or is there a pamphlet where they can pick something up? What would be the best way to get information from you for the hiring process?
So we have a website, our ACCPD careers website, and they can learn all about the agency, the different units that we have, the hiring process, what it looks like from the time you get hired through going through the academy, our in-house training, field training, the whole process. My contact information is on there, my email, my phone number. That's generally how I get contacted, is through that website. And people will just send me, whatever's on their heart.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Did you go through that hiring process while Sergeant was over it, or was
No,
it? Okay.
she was. I think you were on patrol when I went through the hiring process.
What was your experience through that?
Well, I remember first I got an email from Katie Jenkins, and she was very bubbly. I was like, through email, I was like, could feel her personality.
Comforting.
And then, yeah, it's very comforting. And then I got moved to Melissa Hood, and then she kind of was with me through the rest of the process. She was with me through the PAT, the physical training before you go into the academy, and then after that, I met my group of people, and it was good. I mean, Melissa Hood was very, very nice. I was like, I don't know if this is a Georgia thing, but everyone's nice here for the most part. So I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm gonna say it's a Georgia thing.
Okay, good, because I was like, I don't know.
I'll tell you a quick story. When I moved to Georgia, I was living in Lawrenceville, and I would go to this Walmart, and this lady I would always see the same lady for whatever reason. She always say, "Hello, hi, hun," and I think it took like 10 times. And I said, "Ma'am, do you know me? Do you know me?" And she would tell me, "No, we're just being nice." I was like, okay, that was a culture shock for me, because Miami, it's like the NASCAR 500.
Yeah.
You don't turn on your turn signals because they're not gonna let you in. So it was a culture shock for myself too. I was like,
Similar
well, I guess
story.
gotta say hi to everybody now.
Yeah.
So, Sarge, back to you. How many people are in your unit?
For recruiters, it's myself and Melissa Hood and Jonathan Owen. So I have 2 recruiters. On the cadet side, I have a cadet coordinator and currently 6 cadets.
So you're also in charge of our cadet program,
Correct.
right? Do they go through the same process?
Relatively, as far as the application, it's a little bit shorter, but we do still call their references, check their work history if they have any, because they might be a high school student and they might not have any work history prior to the cadet program. They have to submit 2 reference letters, so we'll contact the 2 people that submitted letters and also interview them and see, what's their honest opinion about this person. Because the cadet program is an opportunity for them to learn about our agency while also working here. So we want to make sure that they are an upstanding citizen and that they have good intentions and that they genuinely want to learn. If that's not the case, then it might not be a good fit for them.
Now, and that's for up and coming individuals, right? So would the CPA kind of do the same just for people who already have jobs, or?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Now, Justine, what is your typical day? Because you're on midnights.
Yes.
So that's from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Okay.
Yes.
What does your day look like?
So honestly, it really depends on the week, because we have long weeks and short weeks. But this past working schedule was a long week, and the weekend was insane. Like, I don't know what was in the air. I don't know what people were eating, but it was literally nonstop go. But like I said, depending on the day, 6 p.m. is usually really busy. And then around the 2 a.m., 4 a.m. mid-mark, it's kind of slows down. But then you get those weird calls where just like, big crazy domestic, someone's face is bleeding, and I'm like, it's 4 o'clock. I was like,
Don't you all
I was
just want to go to
we're
bed?
Yeah, I'm like, we're right there.
Why are you
right
not
there.
asleep?
No, seriously. I'm like, what are you doing up? But I work in zone 2, which is very big. Or you got 2 and 2B, but I'm usually in 2, and it's never dull. So
Right.
and I really love it.
So, where do you eat then? Because I mean, it's busy from 6 to 10 easily,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Waffle House is great, but you can't eat it all the day.
I don't think you're gonna catch Justine at Waffle House.
No.
Honestly, when we have like a rough week,
Now you say you work out, right? So
I do. So I work out.
Okay.
So I meal prep.
Okay,
I meal prep.
okay.
So either I'll eat before work and I'll have little snacks like fruits and little crackers or something, or I'll bring my meal prep for the week. But as far as eating out, I really don't eat out. Like I'll see my other coworkers with their food. I'm like, it looks so good, but like I would regret it so bad because. But sometimes we get Waffle House, but it would be rare. Sometimes we try to team bond, so Waffle House is kind of we come together, so it's good.
sometimes you gotta have coffee somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't taste great.
Listen,
Now-
I don't get the coffee there, so
Now, Sergeant Blair, I wanted to touch on one great achievement that you hold, and you are the president of.
The Georgia Association of Women in Public Safety.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about that, because as a father of 2 girls, right, I am always telling them, hey, you run this world. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Don't let no obstacle get in your way, right? And unfortunately, we are in a male-dominant job field, right? So how does that make you feel? Because when I first started, we had minimal females, and now we have more females than we ever had in this department, which is wonderful. So
Right.
how's that? How does that make you feel? And then being president of this group.
So the association is meant for females in the state of Georgia who are in the public safety field. So it could be law enforcement, fire, corrections, dispatchers, and it's for sworn as well as civilians. We come together through different trainings or mentoring. We've done interview panels to prepare people for promotions processes. But the ultimate goal is for all of us to be able to learn from each other in our unique career fields and how we can better work together. Because like you said, we might be one of few in our own agencies, but in these training sessions or different opportunities through GOPS, you're the majority in the room. And so then when you go back to your agencies, if you run into an obstacle that you've never encountered before and you have a question or you just need some support, you have people that might not work for your agency, but maybe they've been through a similar struggle that can help walk you through, some options that you may have.
Now, when you first started, was that available?
It was not in existence yet.
Okay, so how long has the organization been in action?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. So, being a female in this field, how do you get approached? And I'll direct this one to Justine. How you as a female, when you get on a scene, right? How do people treat you different?
I'm trying to think of like recent calls I've been on. I think they turn to me more because I don't know if it's the energy I give off is more comforting, and so they're willing to talk to me because, I don't speak for every officer, but everyone has a way of policing, and mine is if I don't have to yell, if I can talk to you at a low level and we can get the problem resolved, then let's do that. But if you try me, then we can go up that we can knock it up a little bit. But
Now, do you feel like because you're a woman, you get challenged more?
I noticed in the beginning
Okay.
with a community, not within with my coworkers.
Yeah.
For example, I remember I think it was like my first week or second week by myself on the road, and we get a call at Rolling Ridge, and it was like a domestic in Building 9, and then a domestic literally across the other way, and I'm like trying to talk to these people, and no one's listening to me.
Right.
And I had to put my big girl voice. I was like, y'all need to listen to me right now. I yelled a little bit louder, and it was to that point where I was like, I'm small. Like I need to like show some kind of confidence. So, but after that, I really didn't have an issue with that. which is good.
So is it easy to say that once they knew who you were and how you handled things, that wasn't even a problem anymore?
Yeah, once they know I'm about business, they don't mess with me anymore. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with how you carry yourself on a scene.
That is too.
Especially, and it relates to male officers as well, but when you first get on the scene, you're brand new and you're kind of fumbling through your words and, hey, you need to come this way with me. Mm-hmm. No one's going to believe you, but if you carry yourself with confidence and this is where you need to go and you need to do it now because I told you to, then you're going to get more voluntary compliance that way.
For sure.
Now, do you find that other females reach out to y'all as a mentor, to like be put in a mentor placement for them, to ask like career guidance and stuff like that?
Me, no. I'm the one reaching out to Amanda and Miss Gresham, Officer Gresham. Or SPO? Is she SPO now?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Soon to be. But I reach out to them because...
and I love Gresham. We worked on Midnight for a long time. Yes.
I love her. But,
wonderful person.
Yeah, for me right now, no. I do pour into like the newer officers that are newer into me because when I went through, I had Amanda. I was very blessed to be in contact with her. But other female officers, it's like, I don't know where you stand. Like, I'm not saying we have to be buddy-buddy, but, like, there should be, like, some level of respect. But I never kind of got that energy. But with Amanda, she was like, hey, open arms. Like, I was like, this is great. But, yeah.
Now, I'm assuming there's a membership for the association, correct?
Correct.
And they have a website. And is it like an application process or?
There is, but it's not a matter of being accepted.
Right.
We just collect your contact information and the membership fee.
And then you have conferences, right? You just had one at the Classic Center.
Yep.
Is it normally at the Classic Center?
So we rotated around the state
Okay.
with the mindset that some of our smaller agencies cannot afford to send, one person or several people if they're having to pay for the conference registration as well as their food and a hotel stay. So if they're able to send officers somewhere where they're able to commute every day, then they might be able to actually send, one or two officers. So it does kind of rotate around.
So one question, and it's very, to me, it's very important. I've been here 20 years, and I look at the stuff and the information we gathered in the 20 years, and I would do things very much differently at the beginning had I had a mentor. So, and I'll address you first, Sarge. If you met Sergeant Blair or Officer Blair on day one, what would be the best advice to give her?
Find a mentor.
Okay.
But more than that, finding your own way of policing and having confidence in it rather than trying to... When I first got assigned to shift, I was the only female on shift, and it very much felt like the boys' club. And I realized it. At first, I was kind of oblivious to it, but then I realized that they were all going and eating together every shift, and they didn't send me the invite. And I was like, man, that's wrong. But when I started standing up for myself, and I was like, hey, like, if you want to, go to a call together or you need my help on something, then, there needs to be a level of respect where you include me on things.
Right.
And from then, as soon as I called them on it, everyone was good to go. And I have some really good relationships with some of those officers. But I think just being confident in who I am as a person and as an officer and not having to be so concerned with, being accepted or like, what other people think.
Gotcha. Now, Justine, the question for you is going to be a little different, right? Because you are, how long do you have on the road?
This May 27th will hit a year on the road.
So you're new to the game, right?
Yes.
So if you saw yourself in 20 years, right, what would 20 years look like? Where would you be?
No pressure.
Yeah, that one's hard. Hopefully a specialized unit. Right now, everyone asks me, oh, what unit do you want to be in? I was like, I'm just trying to make it through today. Like,
Right.
Can I just make it through today? Hopefully a specialized unit and maybe some little kids running around. And I don't know. I feel like that's a hard question. But I think definitely just maybe be a mentor as well. Because just seeing how Amanda is, seeing how Gresham is, even though she is a mentor, not a mentor. That's something that I want to do. Definitely pour into the younger officers, male and female, doesn't matter. Just know that when you come in, you are loved. Like there's a lot of officers here that kind of just come to the job just to work, and there's some that actually are passionate about what they do. And I want people to see that, oh, there's Officer Hayes or Sergeant Hayes or whatever, that she actually loves what she does, and she actually loves the people that she works with. So that's kind of...
Now I will agree, and I think this is just because you're new, right? You know, there's that fear of being accepted, right? When I first got on shift, I was like, wow, all these guys are high-speed, low-drag, and I'm the new guy, right?
Yeah.
How do I prove myself to these guys? Because, you know, we had the huddle house before, right? Which is another type of Waffle House, but I was like, man, why do all the cool kids go over there and I don't get invited, right?
Yeah.
But I had to prove myself, right? And that I was going to do the job correctly. So it is difficult, especially coming as a new officer.
Yeah.
But it was always great that somebody took you under the wing and said, hey, look, don't do it that way. Let's do it this way. This is the right way. And then took that fear from you.
Yeah.
So it was always great. So, you know, I'm glad that you guys were able to come here and give me your experience and everything. I'm glad that you guys are moving up in the ranks in this department. I hopefully plan to see great things out of you.
I'm excited.
I know that your recruiting office is doing great. We had one of your cadets in our office not so long ago, and she was wonderful. And she reminds me a little bit of you because she has aspirations of maybe one day becoming a police officer. I'm sorry. So, Sarge, tell me, what brought you to law enforcement?
I enjoy problem solving. I was a math nerd in school, so thinking outside the box on how to solve problems, kind of that aspect of it, I really enjoy. I like that it's something different every day. Even I'm not on patrol anymore, but every single day is something different. I don't have like a, set, agenda each day. So I like that it changes. And I had some really good professors in college that had lived experience. So I had a professor who was a medical examiner for the city of Atlanta, and some of his crime scene photos were spectacular. And he is why I wanted to be in forensics. Going back to high school, I did a one-day job shadow with a local detective in Commerce PD, and she was awesome and just kind of gave me the ins and outs of what it's like to be a police officer. And I was like, that sounds like so much fun. I want to do that too.
Right.
So that's kind of how it started.
What about you?
In South Florida, during high school, I was part of the Explorer program of Coral Springs PD.
Yeah.
And I had some good mentors. And my godmother, actually, she was in law enforcement, I would say now like 25 plus years down in Port St. Lucie. So she's done it all. So she's like, this is something you should get into. And at first I was like, maybe. Because it was either this or the business field. And I didn't like sitting in a cubicle my whole life. So I was like, I'm going to try policing. And like Amanda said, I really love the change of the schedule and just every day, just different. Everything is different. You might meet the same people every day, but it's usually different situations. And I really love that.
Now, you mentioned the Explorer program. That is like our cadet program, correct? That's
yes.
Very similar.
And no, because we didn't get paid.
Okay. The only bad aspect, right?
That was it. But honestly, we did we did competitions. Like we went to up Orlando and we did we had a lot of conferences but it was really good. But the only downside, we didn't get paid like this. So it would have been cool if I knew about that when I was.
So what advice would you give a female looking to get into this field?
I would tell her to do a ride along. I think that's the easiest way for you to see what it's actually like. Like, you're not going to get to do everything that a police officer would do during that shift, but that's the one way that you can get firsthand experience of, possibly running code to a call, seeing some of the things that you don't see typically as a civilian, or just the mundane side of police work. I think that's the best way to do it.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, right along, to give a little bit more information on that, that is when they actually sit down with a police officer in a cruiser.
Yes.
Okay, and that is open to the public as well.
Yes.
And how do you do a ride along?
So there's a set of forms that you fill out, and the front desk clerks can take those forms from you, and they'll run your criminal history. You cannot be a convicted felon in order to do a ride along because you're riding with a police officer who has a weapon in the car or potentially more than one. They'll fill out those forms, and you'll select the shift that you'd prefer to ride with, so day shift, night shift, east or west, and then they'll send those to the supervisors, and they will contact you to set up a day.
Okay. Now, long day at work, you're stressed. What do you do to decompress?
It depends, because my first crazy call was a suicide, and it was really crazy because if all the family was there, and I kind of like felt what they were feeling in the moment. And after I got home, I literally just like shoved my husband. I was like, "You need to wake up because I'm not okay." And took a while for him to wake up, but he woke up. But after that, like after I got like heavy calls, I journal a lot. Journaling is kind of something that I've had in my pocket since high school, and I continue to do that. I listen to a lot of music, and actually, Lieutenant Von Anderson, he actually told me one thing. He's like, after a crazy call, just play a game. Play a game that is meaningless and is not really challenging, and then I have Candy Crush, and like I play that after a heavy call, and my mind is still, it's a lot better than what it was, but decompressing as far as the stress goes, journaling is probably like the top thing that I do. So yeah.
Sarge?
I enjoy going to the gym before work because I'm too tired to go after work. So that kind of helps start my day off on an even foot. But when I get home, I have 2 small kids, and I call them from upstairs when I get home, and they come running down the stairs, and I get a good hug from them. That always kind of brings me back down and takes my brain out of work mode and into home mom mode.
Yeah, I can agree with the kid stuff. I have 2 girls and a boy, and I picked my oldest daughter up, and just having a 10-minute conversation about her school day, just it's one of my de-stressors. Mm-hmm. And so we have a rule that when we go from school to home, no phone, no nothing, we talk until we get home. Now the minute we hit home, they're back on the phone, right? But that 30-45 minutes is wonderful to just forget about work. And that's a wrap of today's episode of Classic City Blue. Thanks for our guest, and we'll catch you in the next episode.